Hey guys, I wanted to make a quick video where I talk about product pricing on Zazzle. Not specifically your profit margins, but specifically picking products with all different kinds of pricing. Which one do you pick? We're going to go into it in this video. I figured I'd just record this quick introduction before the video actually plays out because I want to give you precedence to what I'm going to say. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the logical understanding of how I came to a specific solution here within Zazzle. So if you're ready for the video, hopefully enjoy, and more importantly, hopefully it was introspective and makes you think about the next move you're going to make when you're selling on Zazzle. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Enjoy the rest of the video, and leave the comments down below if you have anything you need to say. I'll see you soon. Peace out. Bye. Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be talking about product pricing here on Zazzle. And I'm not necessarily referring to the pricing that you should pick as a profit margin, but I'm actually talking about the based costs of certain products. And I wanted to do an example where I actually show you guys how I upload patterns to Zazzle and why that's actually relatively important, because it is part of the design process on Zazzle. But when you do create a product, there's many different products that you can select with different pricings. Now, before we even get into that, I want to go ahead and introduce the Zazzle playlist. This is the 5th video on the Zazzle playlist, and we're going to be continuing to add more through time. And as you guys know, and as I've promised, we're going to be adding content to this Zazzle playlist to make sure that anybody who's starting in Zazzle, or maybe have existed there in a while, for a long time rather, can go ahead and watch this and maybe level up their game when it comes down to Zazzle. So as always, the link will be in the description for the Zazzle playlist if you want to go ahead and watch other Zazzle videos. With that being said, let's go ahead and discuss product pricing and variations on Zazzle. And the reason why this matters so much is because we have to put ourselves in the shoes of consumers. Now, to be clear, Zazzle is a company that sells, I would say, pretty much thousands of products, and you can design thousands of different products. When you first create your design, right, you can put it on a product, and you do have the ability within your settings to make sure that that design goes on other products. You absolutely can do that. That will be for a different video for a different time. However, let's talk about the people who, let's say, may not know of that specific feature, and they're creating different designs. When you create different designs, you have to pick the product, and the design on the product could potentially make a difference. So let's go ahead and use coasters as an example. There are different kinds of coasters. They all serve the same purpose. They all serve the same need. You can sell one that's cheaper, like $1.50 here, but you could sell one that costs a little bit more significantly more. In fact, almost, 7 times more, which is this limestone coaster, which is interesting. And you could sell one in limestone. You could sell one in marble. You could sell one in this travertine stone, different kinds, sandstone even. So it's pretty interesting to me that there are these different options. Well, what I like to do is I like to judge things based on what Zazzle puts in front of us. And being that I've been using Zazzle for a very long time now as a designer, when I come to certain category type pages, which we showed how to do in one of our last videos, when we go to these category type pages, if you noticed, they're not ordered by price, right? Of course, I can sort by price, I can filter, I can add different filters, but they're not ordered by price. They're also not ordered alphabetically. So the question is why are certain ones at the front and certain ones at the back? And I think there's a reason. And I think it actually comes down to sales. Now, I could be wrong. This is one of those videos where it comes down to purely my opinion. But I'm basing my opinion off of my past experience. And as you guys know, all my videos, whether it be the paid courses or the free videos, are all based on my private experience, personal experience. And I want to share with you an experience that I had. When I was building my first business ever, it was selling clothing. It was a fitness website selling clothing. And I was in the process of rearranging the website. And this took a period of a few months to really perfect. But the way I did it was I would look at buying behavior and I would look at what people do. And I actually installed certain software on my website that would allow me to see how people are interacting with my website in terms of how their mouse was moving, and I would see their behaviors. And what I noticed was certain people were gravitating to certain products depending on what link they came from. And I found this very interesting. So based on certain assertions, I started editing my design of my website to accompany certain traffic visitors. And then I altered the different links that people would actually visit. So if you were coming from traffic method A, then you would see the link A. And link A would present a certain look and feel with a certain order of products. And that's the very most important thing, the order of products. And the reason why I think that's very, very important is because buyers don't actually spend much time on your website when they're actively looking to buy. Usually they know exactly what they want to buy. They go straight to the product and they purchase. Think of all the times where you walked into a store and you had a specific need for a very specific product. Let's say coffee, for example. You walk into a Dunkin' Donuts, a Tim Hortons, a Starbucks, whatever it is. Let's say you want to buy a coffee. You go straight to the person at the front and you say, I want to buy XYZ coffee. You know, you give them the description of the coffee, whatever you want, the lattes, the cafes, the cappuccino, whatever it is, right? You tell them what you want, and then you get what you want and you leave. It's very rare that you sit there and you start looking around. If you start looking around, you're not sure what you're going to get, then you probably didn't have something in mind. But with that being said, certain things are displayed a certain way. And I believe, from my personal experience, like I said, that these products are displayed in a specific order because as a business owner myself, I chose to display certain products in a specific order with my website before I ended up selling it. So, with that being said, I think that to Zazzle, you're going to sell or you're going to present what's most successful through time, I think, in order. So I think it's a fair assertion for me to sit here and say, and I actually would bet money on this, if somebody said to me, do you think marble stone coasters are more effective from a sales standpoint, more successful from a sales standpoint than custom hexagon coasters? And I would say, yeah, I do believe so. In fact, we can go ahead and take a look at this from a Google standpoint and see if our ideas are validated. Now, it might not be, and I don't really know, so I'm going to check right now with you guys by pausing my screen and jumping on and taking a look. And you can see here on my screen that I actually did the keyword research right here, right now, to show you exactly what I'm talking about. If we look here, the very first keyword that I entered was stone coaster. And if we look to the right-hand side, the search volume does differ. Some months it's at 488. This was March of 2020, right? And then some months it's at 909. Some months it's even at 1,000 searches a month. This last month here was at 606 searches a month. The average search volume is 710 searches a month. If we look to the other keyword representing the hexagon coaster, well, we can see that it's actually lower. 650 is the average. And in fact, last month, 480 searches for the keyword hexagon coaster. Now, why does this seem important? Well, Google is a micronized economy, and so is Zazzle, is a micronized economy of Google. And I know they're not the same, right? But certain things depict certain behaviors. So, for example, we see here that the hexagon coaster is placed at the bottom. You wouldn't place your most valuable products at the bottom of a site, would you? Obviously not. Well, this company, and you could bet your bottom dollar, multi-million-dollar company, that of Zazzle, wouldn't just make a small mistake like this. They don't make mistakes. In fact, you could actually verify the information through Google. If we search, like I said, stone coaster versus hexagon coaster, whether it be the hexagon pointed or the custom hexagon, really doesn't matter, right? Because we're comparing general concepts to each other. We see that indeed, this coaster gets much more searches on Google than this one does. And once again, Zazzle is a microeconomy of that of Google. Why? Because Google distributes traffic to Zazzle. And there's more searches on Google than there is on Zazzle. Zazzle has a search engine just like Google. But obviously, it sells products, not pages. But the point here is that many people, and this is the lesson to take away, is that many people think that they should put their products and their designs on cheaper products. They think that it will result better results, and this is a fallacy. I believe, not only from my personal experience, but from the things that I literally just showed you, using the search traffic and the analysis, that not always do cheaper products succeed better than more expensive products. I also want to call your attention to a concept. The concept is occasion. When people want to purchase things on Zazzle, most of the time, if you remember one of the past videos that we've shown, where we talk about the most profitable types of products on Zazzle, we talked about the 3 different categories of products. We talked about occasional products. And most of the products that generate income on Zazzle are occasion products. With occasion, there's a lot of more emotional involved. It's less, let's say, logical. And people say that with occasions, they're only doing the occasion once. For example, weddings, funerals, birthday parties, maybe even, invitations to baby showers or bridal showers, whatever the case may be. These special celebrations are once in a lifetime. And we see statistically proven that people are more likely to spend during occasions than that of regular times in life. So, as an individual who uses all these different statistics, think about it this way. If you're going to create a design for an occasion, maybe it's good to create the design on multiple products or even on products that are more expensive. If you're going to create a design that is a general casual product, and we went over what a casual product is within the categories, this is why I always say check the links in the description to watch the playlist. When you create these casual designs, it might be better to place it on a cheaper product because there isn't that emotional push. Now, with that being said, in a future video, we'll actually show you how to place your design on multiple products and how it can be available on multiple products a little bit quicker than the average of just sitting there creating the design on multiple products and getting it done, because it can be done through settings and through setting things up. So now that that's clear, I think that what this does is this creates more information around Zazzle. Because when you go out there and you start tagging or you start creating, you're coming from a place of more knowledge and you're putting yourself inside the customer's shoes. And that's the most important thing. I think that a lot of the success that I achieved with print on demand comes from the ability to put myself in customers' shoes and understand where they're coming from and what they're looking for. And part of the reason why I can figure out what those search demands are is a percentage of that search comes from Google, right? So if somebody's searching for, let's say, stone marble coaster on Google with for weddings, or I don't know, for whatever occasion it might potentially be, if Zazzle arises in that Google search, you could see Zazzle for the keyword stone coaster shows up number 7 here. Then what happens is I get inside information effectively on certain customers' demands, and I reverse engineer the process. I'll have more videos on reverse engineering the process using a keyword research tool kind of like this. I'll leave the link in the description specifically to this tool because it's extremely effective when it comes down to seeing the search demand, seeing what competitors rank for the search demand, and more importantly, I use it for more than one effort. So with something like this, I can take this exact same skill and apply it to my own print-on-demand website, right? So I have my own website outside of Zazzle, outside of Etsy, outside of Redbubble, outside of all these different platforms, that I have my own private website. It's actually websites, but this one specifically is what I focus on SEO, right? And search engine optimization, or SEO, just basically means that first you have to understand keyword research. You have to do the research for the specific keyword. Then you have to cater your content, your website, your products, everything in between to that specific keyword. And with that, Google will then give you higher ranking depending on the keyword that it is and the competition that arises, right? And so once again, I'll leave a link in the description to this keyword tool. It's pretty much my favorite one right now that I'm currently using, and it's actually really, really effective. I know some people might ask, why don't you use Ahrefs? Why don't you use SEMrush? Those tools are a lot more expensive. The money isn't necessarily the problem, but this tool offers pretty much everything that SEMrush offers, and SEMrush is better than Ahrefs, in my opinion. And they're pretty much the same thing. It's just like 1/5 of the price. So for me, it just makes sense to go with this one. So I'll leave a link in the description if you want to go ahead and use it. But if you're using it for Zazzle, I'll make a future video talking about how to actually use the keyword research tool specifically for Zazzle in the future. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll leave a link in the description, like I said, to the playlist that we're going to be adding the content on, and also to the paid Zazzle course to show you how to tag properly on Zazzle. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Bye.